fitness journey can be quite challenging, especially in today's society when there is plenty of information on the internet. Just the oversaturation of information out there from fitness influencers, from coaches, trainers, to the point where it can kind of get overwhelming figuring out what is true and what is not true on the internet. But in today's video, I'm going to be spilling all the tea on the common questions when it comes to fat loss, muscle growth, or just living a healthy lifestyle in general. Also, with my 8+ years of experience being a personal trainer and an online coach, I can see through the BS. So we're going to go through some questions that I found online and answer them in today's video. The first question is it possible to lose weight in 2 to 3 weeks? I have an event coming up in a matter of 3 weeks and I need to lose weight. Well, starting off, is it possible to lose weight in the next 2 to 3 weeks? Absolutely. But it just depends on how much weight are you looking to lose and if it's a realistic number. We have to start focusing on long-term results rather than looking for a quick fix. When it comes to weight loss, if you're going to lose that weight fast, guess what? You're going to gain that weight back as fast as you lost it. So it's pretty much like, what's the point of trying to get in shape for an event when after the event is over, you're going to gain the weight right back? There's pretty much no point in doing so, putting all of your hard work and energy in those 2 to 3 weeks just to gain that weight right back. I personally wouldn't want to do that. So the best thing to do is to lose weight slow and steady. And a normal amount of weight that an average person can lose that is healthy and safe is 4 to 8 pounds per month. But just remember, if you are someone that has excess fat or excess weight on you, it's a lot easier to lose weight quicker than someone that doesn't have that much weight to lose. So always keep that in mind when you see people that are larger, or maybe they weigh over 250 to 300 pounds, they're losing weight quick because their body has more fat to lose. So that's why it's always important not to compare yourself, because you never know what someone's starting point is. 4 to 8 pounds per month is perfect, and it's a safe amount of weight that you can lose in about 4 weeks. If you lose anything more than that, that's when our metabolism starts to slow. And when our metabolism decreases, it makes us harder to lose weight. A lot of people think if they eat less, do more cardio, and lose more weight quicker, they think that's doing something good with their metabolism, but it's completely doing the opposite. You're completely risking your metabolism, and we do not want to do that. So we want to make sure we are losing a good amount of weight per month, so that way our body is staying healthy while decreasing our body fat percentage. The next question says, I started my weight loss journey on 10/16 of 2024. Today is 11/15, so about a month later. I have only lost 10 pounds. What more can I do? The scale is so discouraging to me because I feel like I'm not losing enough. I don't want to get discouraged and stop again. I have a lot to say when it comes to the scale, and I am a huge advocate of throwing that damn scale away. She started on 10/15 and a month later, she lost 10 pounds. That is perfect. You do not want to lose any more than that because, like I said earlier in the last point, if you lose too much weight at once, your metabolism starts to slow and your body starts doing the opposite of what you want it to do. You have to understand that the scale is always going to fluctuate. One day you might be up 3 pounds, next day you might be under 5 pounds. That is completely normal. The scale fluctuating is normal and it's not something that you should be concerned about. And that's why it's not a good idea to weigh yourself daily, because you're only going to make yourself feel overwhelmed and to the point where you want to give up on your fitness journey, like this girl said in this post. I wouldn't even weigh yourself weekly. If you do choose to weigh yourself, do it once a month and that's it. If you're someone that's a little bit bigger and you have like maybe a medical condition where you need to get this weight off, maybe do it every week or every 2 weeks. But for the average person, you do not need to be weighing yourself daily. That is one of the worst things that you can do, because our weight, like I said, our weight fluctuates so much throughout the day, especially as women when we are even going through menopause. Maybe we're going through our menstrual cycle, or maybe we're even going through medical conditions where our body is fluctuating on a daily basis. So you want to throw that scale away. You are going to save yourself so much stress and anxiety. I promise you. You need to start looking at like before and after pictures and going by how you feel and how you look. That is the most important. I feel like as women, sometimes men as well, but mostly women, we are so fixated on what the scale says. We put all of of our worth on a number on the scale, which that shouldn't be the case. To be honest, in this post, I don't think she needs to do anything more. She needs to continue what she's doing, but just throw the scale away and just grind in the gym, grinding your nutrition, and she's going to reach her results. I think what's holding her back is just looking at that number and getting discouraged by what it says, when at the end of the day, the scale is not the best indicator of her weight loss journey. How many times of cardio should you do per week if your goal is to gain muscle and tone up? Well, if that's your ultimate goal, your main priority is to gain muscle and to tone up, I feel like people, when they think of muscle growth or getting gains in the gym, they think, oh, I don't need cardio because I don't want to mess up my gains, which is the complete opposite. As a normal human being, as a person that is living on this earth, we need cardio, period. It doesn't matter what your goals are, you need to be doing cardio, period, because that is just good for our cardiovascular health. It boosts our metabolism, and we're just making sure that the inside of our body, our heart, is staying healthy, and that's what's going to prolong our life and keep us healthy long term. So for the average person, I would say generally you need about 90 to 120 minutes per week on top of your weightlifting, and this should include low to moderate intensity. You can always do high intensity, even if you're someone that wants to like bulk up, gain strength, build muscle. You can still add in that high intensity, but we're just making sure we're limiting it because our body needs time and rest to recover, and the best way to do that while also adding cardio is choosing a low to moderate intensity. So if you're going to the gym 4 days a week, 90 to 120 minutes per week will equal to about 20 to 30 minutes per session at the gym. And a type of exercises that you can do for low to moderate intensity: mat Pilates, brisk walking, a light jog, going on the Stairmaster or the elliptical, something that's light to moderate without it being too intense. How do you keep motivation to go to the gym? You simply just go. There's not really any kind of motivation that causes me to go to the gym, because at the end of the day, I am completely driven by discipline. Even the days that I am super motivated or the days that I just want to lay in bed all day, it doesn't matter how motivated I am getting up and going because I am driven by discipline. So instead of trying to find ways how to get motivated, you should start to figure out ways how you can stay disciplined, how you can stay on top of your goals, because we're all human beings. It's going to be hard for us to always stay motivated 24/7 because that's simply not realistic for us. And what happens if you don't stay motivated and you're not driven by discipline? You're going to keep getting on and off of your fitness journey. You're going to be starting over a million times. It's not worth it. You need to find ways to be disciplined. I'm not saying motivation isn't bad. You can always find ways to get motivated. The real driven factor to getting in shape, getting your dream body, and just overall having a healthier lifestyle is all by discipline. And I know people don't want to hear that, but that is just simply the truth. You need to find ways to be disciplined. Anyone else struggle with the calorie deficit? I always eat less than what I'm supposed to, or is that okay? So starting off with a calorie deficit, do understand that some people may have a hard time actually eating enough for their goals, especially if there's someone that is used to like not really eating that much, or they really don't grab for food that often. I definitely had clients in the past that had problems with this as well. And yeah, it can be hard to making sure you're eating enough calories for your goals, but you have to understand that this is so important. Calories is so important. It doesn't matter if you're in a caloric deficit. It doesn't matter if you're trying to lose weight. You still need to be eating enough calories. Or is that okay that I'm not eating that much? It's not okay. You're going to be losing weight for sure, but at one point it will come where you plateau, where your metabolism is going to decrease, and like I said earlier, your body is going to be doing the complete opposite of what you want it to do. So you want to start boosting back your metabolism by slowly increasing your calories over time. So let's say that in order for you to lose weight, you have to eat in the 1,800 calorie deficit, but you only been eating 1,300. What you want to do is stay in that calorie deficit, stay below 1,800, but you want to slowly start increasing your calories over time, maybe 100 or 200 at a time. So that way you're not regaining weight quickly, but you're also boosting your metabolism. So reverse dieting is a thing, and it does work. If you are chronically eating low in a calorie deficit, I would definitely say slowly add on a couple hundred calories. You can literally do this by eating a handful of nuts, adding on an extra cup of yogurt, adding almond milk to your morning oats, just things like that to slowly add on calories, and just take your time. It's all going to take time to eat more, but as long as you're trying to find a way to get those foods in, whatever you have to do, just start to eat more calories, because it is is so important, and you do not want to hit a plateau and decrease your metabolism. Next question said, hi girl, suggest me your home workout to lose belly fat or underbelly fat from your own journey. So there isn't a specific exercise that's going to lose belly fat. I don't care what the people are saying on TikTok with the ab circuits and ab workouts. Those simply do not work because you're toning the area when you're doing any core exercises, but you're not losing the weight. I would say there's definitely exercises that can help with fat loss itself, fat loss itself. But when it comes to specifically targeting a body part to lose fat, you cannot do that. So some exercise I would say to overall lose body fat, and yeah, it can help in the long run, help with your belly fat, is doing sprints. Sprints are an amazing exercise that you can do. Adding in weight training, of course, we're going to lift challenging weights. And 3, of course, you're going to be eating in a caloric deficit to lose that fat. But like I said, you cannot pinpoint where you want to lose fat at. It just goes off wherever it wants to go off first, and then eventually you're going to start losing fat in that area. Quick question. At what weight is recommended to wear a weightlifting belt? So when she was talking about weight, I didn't know if she was specifying like someone's body weight or the weight that they're pushing in the gym. So I'm just going to assume she's talking about like how much weight you're lifting at the gym. So when it comes to wearing a weightlifting belt, there are plenty of different benefits when it comes to that. The main reason why people wear weightlifting belt is in order for you to brace. Bracing basically means that you are expanding, pushing out your stomach against a weightlifting belt, which you don't need a weightlifting belt to do this, but it means that you're expanding your abdominal area. So that way you are keeping tension throughout your core, throughout your whole midsection. And so that way it can protect your back and your spine when you're doing heavy lifts. So if you see any like powerlifters, bodybuilders, or simply people that go to the gym a lot, most likely you're going to see a weightlifting belt. It's more so to help them brace because it's easier when you have a sturdy belt in front of you. It's easier to keep your stomach expanded during the lift that you're doing. But I will always recommend you learning how to brace on your own before relying on a weightlifting belt, because with a belt it's going to get a lot easier to brace, and in the long run you're going to start relying on that belt even during light movements. So when it comes to weight, if I'm getting to like a moderate to heavy weight, that's when I put on my weightlifting belt. But during my light to moderate sets, I like to brace on my own, so that way I'm just still learning and practicing to brace on my own without using a belt. I would say maybe around the moderate to heavy weight, you start to add on a weightlifting belt. Question, how to build glutes without making the quads even better than what they are, or bigger, I would say. Already have muscular quads, but the back end isn't measuring up to standards. You always want to choose a exercise that is simply targeting the glutes, that's isolating the glutes, because when it comes to like barbell squats and things like that, like in the last video, squats are great and it does incorporate your glutes depending on how you set up your feet and just overall how you are setting up for it. You can definitely get some glute movement in there, but if you are a quad dominant person, your quads are always going to take over the movement no matter how you set up. So if you're already a quad dominant person and you want to start getting glute dominant, you're going to have to start putting in glute isolation movements. So barbell hip thrusts, calves hip thrusts are good, kickbacks, single leg hip thrusts, Bulgarian split squats, things like that. I wouldn't do deep goblet squats because goblet squats, you're holding the weight up here. And when you're having the weight in front of you, that's putting more tension on the front side of your body, which is your quads. Doing front squats or goblet squats is not really the best because you're just targeting more quads than anything. But overall, in order to grow any type of muscle, including your glutes, you have to eat more. Is it normal to gain weight when you start weightlifting? Well, when you start working out, period, I gained 3 pounds and it's only been 2 weeks. Yes, it is absolutely normal to gain weight or even to maintain your weight or not see that much change in the scale when it comes to weight training. Because when it comes to muscle, a pound of fat and a pound of muscle weighs the same, but muscle is much more dense and it takes up more space in the body. So I'm assuming that she is trying to lose fat while building muscle. So if you are decreasing that body fat in your body, but you're increasing your muscle mass, you're not really going to see a change because that muscle mass is taking up so much space and making the scale increase, like in her situation. So is that something to be worried about? Absolutely not. Because when it comes to the scale doesn't just measure weight. It measures 4 things that a human body consists of, which is muscle, bone, water, and fat. So when you're stepping on a scale, all of that is included into a scale. So that's why this scale is not the best indicator. And if you are going to weigh yourself, try to like maybe do one of those body scans where it shows your body fat percentage. People need to start worrying about decreasing their body fat percentage rather than decreasing just the number on the scale. Like I said, it's not always realistic. And since she's gaining weight in the gym, first thing I would ask her is if she's seeing a change in her body. Do you physically look different? Are you comparing your before and after pictures and seeing a change? Is your waist and hip measurements decreasing? If you're actually feeling just healthier overall, if you're answering yes to any of those questions, then guess what? You are losing fat and building muscle at the same time. And that is what we want. That is exactly why we're going to the gym, right? We want to gain muscle. We want to be more toned. Well, what comes with that is gaining muscle, and gaining muscle may not make the scale move as much as you want. But we want to focus on that body fat percentage. That is the most important. How do you stay healthy during the holiday? I hope I can get this out before Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. And if I get this uploaded after Thanksgiving, well, at least it will help for Christmas and the other holidays coming by. How do we stay healthy during the holidays? Well, if you are on your fitness journey, please do not let the holidays ruin your results. And usually the holiday itself, it doesn't ruin your results because there's no way possible that you can completely ruin your results with one day of eating unhealthy. It's just not possible. But the reason why people fall off of their fitness journey after the holidays is because they continue those bad habits after the holiday is over. It's not necessarily the holiday that made them gain weight. It's their actions and their choices that they make after the holiday that makes them fall off track. So you always have to keep that in mind. You need to make sure that you are eating in moderation. You can enjoy the foods with your family and friends. It's just one day out of the year. Making sure that you're enjoying yourself, but you also want to keep in mind that you need to be realistic, making sure that you are choosing options in moderation, making sure you're adding in that vegetable or adding in a fruit, making sure you're still drinking enough water, and also making sure you're making other healthy options throughout the day, then enjoying yourself during that Thanksgiving meal. So there's plenty of different ways to stay on track when it comes to the holidays. You just have to make a plan and stick with it. And I know it can still be tempting when there's so many foods around, but if you slip up and there's plenty of different guests bringing in their favorite dishes like pumpkin pie, mac and cheese, and all of the good stuff, I understand that it can definitely get challenging. If you slip up, it's okay. Like I said, it's just one day. Just make sure that you're not taking home leftovers and just get back on it the next day or so. You will be okay. You just have to make a plan and stick with it. Next question. Hey, I did a kettlebell workout that I enjoyed, but I was sore and my muscles were tight for the next 3 days. What are some tips for recovery? So when it comes to just recovering, let's say this person is a beginner. It's going to be normal for your body to be sore when you're exposing your body to new workouts, new movements. It's normal for your body to feel sore, to feel like your muscles are tight. Best thing to do is to take rest days. So I feel like for beginners, you need to start with maybe a couple days out the week. So that way they have enough time throughout the week to get adequate rest and recovery. And then when you start to get more advanced, when your body is starting to get used to those movements and not get as sore, that's when you can start doing your workouts back to back or going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. I would always say start off with just maybe 2, max 3 days, and making sure you're spreading out those days so that way you're getting the adequate amount of rest and recovery. When you're going to the gym, like, you don't always have to go so full force. You need to listen to your body. And I am a big advocate on that. I'm not saying, oh, if I'm lazy or not feeling the gym, I'm not going to go. There's a difference between being lazy or simply feeling like your body cannot handle the gym today, and that is totally fine. You need to know the difference and you need to listen to your body. If you physically feel like you need a rest day, then you better take that rest day, because you are going to end up in a worse position. You are going to harm your body if you do not listen to your body and if you try to push through the pain. So making sure that you're getting an adequate amount of rest days is so important. And some more tips is also doing any kind of like hip mobility stretches or just stretches in general. Adding on ice, maybe 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, using any kind of compression. So there's plenty of different ways that you can recover, but rest is the most important. I heard someone, if you want to drop the weight, you have to eat large amounts of protein, which is not true, but let's continue. For example, I want to weigh anywhere in the 187 to 190s. I was told to eat 180 grams of protein a day. Are you eating all the time? I don't think I could be hungry enough to eat 180 grams of protein a day. Please advise. Well, I used to believe that you need to eat at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, which is not completely true, because if someone's 250 pounds, that doesn't mean that they need to eat 250 grams of protein. What you need to go by is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your calories come from carbs, 30% of your calories come from protein, and then 20% of your calories come from fat. So 30% of our calories come from protein. So let's say that we are eating 1,800 calories per day. The easiest way to calculate this is to get an app like MyFitnessPal, where it actually shows you how many grams of protein that you need to be eating according to how many calories. So 30% is the standard for someone that wants to build muscle, but of course it's all different for everybody. We will get into that. So 30% of your calories be coming from protein. That is 135 calories for a person that needs to eat 1,800 calories a day. This is what we want to go by. Now, someone that is an athlete or someone that is prioritizing muscle growth, then we can increase and decrease the calories depending on our goals. So maybe instead of 30% calorie intake, we could boost that up to 35%. But the average of a person that wants to build muscle and wants to maintain as much muscle mass as possible is about 35, the max 40% of your caloric intake. One more question. I can never get my RDLs right. I don't feel them in my glutes, and my lower back always hurt the day after. I've watched dozens of videos on correct form, and I have tried to do them without weights to get my form right. At this point, I'm about to drop them from my routine. For some reason, my form can never get information, and I'm frustrated because I heard they are a really good exercise for growing glutes. Yes, they are a good exercise to grow glutes, and I actually do have a demonstration video on how to do them. I'm pretty sure the reason why her lower back is hurting is because she is using her lower back to proceed through the movement. That happens when you're not tucking in your lower back. That is the first thing you want to do, is to pinch our shoulder blades backwards. We want to keep our chest proud, making sure our head is aligned with our spine. We are tucking in our lower back rather than coming out like this, which obviously you guys can't see, but I'm tucking in my lower back rather than expanding it out. And while I am tucking in my lower back, I'm making sure I'm doing that throughout the whole movement, making sure I am pushing through my heels, keeping a slight bend, a 30-degree angle in my legs, so that way I'm targeting my glutes and going down as far as possible so I can feel that stretch in my glutes. Now, it may be easier to see an actual video demonstration on what you're possibly doing wrong and correcting your form through there. So I do have like an old video, I'll pop it on the screen if I can find it, of me demonstrating an RDL. The reason why her lower back is probably hurting is because she's pulling the weight with her lower back rather than pulling her weight with the glutes. I do really hope this video cleared up some confusion when it comes to fat loss, muscle growth, the scale, just all things in general when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle. It's so important to making sure that we are taking information that we get from the internet with a grain of salt, and also making sure that the person that we are consuming this information from has some kind of accredited background, have multiple years of experience with themselves while also training others. Getting the wrong information from the wrong person can delay your journey drastically. So it is so important to look out for those things when you're getting information, or also just simply hire a personal trainer or a coach that can completely guide you throughout your journey. I am accepting a few more clients for the end of the year, so make sure you guys check out my strength and fat loss coaching links. They are all right down below. We can hop on a free consultation call so you guys can learn more about my services, and I can learn a little bit more about what you want to achieve. So if you are interested in losing fat, building muscle while also maintaining a healthy lifestyle, make sure that you check out my links right down below. And also don't forget to connect with me on a daily basis. All my social links are right down below as well. And I will see you guys in the next video.